Hello, everyone. Welcome to the War Show 210. My name is Ray. We are back with another video. Alongside him again, he helped me cover the state of wrestling. I have unavailable Try Again, aka D. D, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my guy. How are you?
It's hot, man. It's hot down here in Texas. I think I sent you a text how hot it was in my car. It was like 110, and your reaction was hilarious.
110.
Yeah, I was
Drop,
baking in the
drop down
car.
from 111 like you were sitting there doing a drastic drop right there. I could take my clothes off now.
I mean, it's pretty brutal down here. Like it's way more hotter than usual here during June. So I live in Texas for those people who are not aware, and D lives in New York. So yeah, just it's really stupid hot. But anyway, just going as far as recapping here, is a couple things during wrestling we had as far as a lot of stuff that happened during the past 2 weeks or so. I think.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, the first thing as far as noteworthy is Roman's new belt that they released. It's the gold belt, although they're carrying all three belts now, with Paul Heyman carrying the Universal title and the World Heavyweight Championship, and Roman carrying the gold belt. But did you like the new belt at all?
I mean, it's a decent design. I'm not mad at it. I mean, it just
Whatever.
is. It's a cool title. I'll say that. I mean, I like I thought they were gonna do something more like they did with Seth Rollins and like completely change the design. I can understand because you don't want to change it too far because you have to take back all the ones from all the athletes that you've given it to and the sports teams that you've given it to for winning. So I definitely understand the reason why they kept it because at this point it's a symbol.
I mean, I'm fine with it because of the fact that it doesn't have to be color coordinated anymore with Raw or SmackDown. Now it's just this
Thank
belt. Yeah,
God.
yeah. That was kind of stupid, but now they did the same thing also with the women's, but that's a different story. But we'll get in as far as the first thing here, the most
Well,
newsworthy part.
before you
Sure.
go forward, you know what I think is so funny about that? They took away the names, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now the titles don't have a name for a specific brand, but the one men's title and one women's title looks alike,
Yeah.
and then the other titles look the same. So if you decide, hey, you know what, I'm gonna switch Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, now the titles don't match up and it still looks weird.
Yeah. But
So
it's
that's why I figured they would have four different titles or four different looks. No, they don't. And it would still be confusing because if you move Rollins to SmackDown and now you have Oscar's title, it's like, well,
I
why
mean,
didn't you just move Rhea Ripley's title? This is weird.
yeah. I mean, it's already bad enough that WWE has way too many titles in my opinion, but they're probably gonna do the same thing with the tag team title. That's like the next thing they have to do. But
Oh God, those are ugly. I hope so.
yeah,
They
but
look like nickels or dimes or some shit.
yeah.
They're Spartan quarters. Like Spartan quarters or some
Maybe they upgrade them to silver dollars. We'll see. But the next thing with the bloodline here, as far as the big story was the continuation of the bloodline continue to crumble. That we finally had as far as Jey Uso turn on Roman. Is it safe to say that the bloodline's over?
Oh yeah, well you would think so. I mean, he doesn't have right hand Jey Uso, and Jimmy Jimmy just wasn't that dude that I don't think that he was. I think he was just there because his brother was, there. Like, oh look, my brother's happy. You treating us right. We're getting title shots and main events and stuff like that. So I'll continue to conform. But once you start, disrespecting my brother, you start hurting me, and no, we're not doing this. So I think that they're done. I'm curious to see what happens with Solo though.
Yeah, I think that's the one that's going to be the last piece. I think going into next year's WrestleMania. But essentially, what happened was that Jey Uso turned on Roman. That he also ultimately decided to side with his brother. We now have as far as the upcoming pay per view. But before I get into that, I mean, I have to give props to Jey Uso. Like he is so good. His mic work, his as far as like promos, like how he comes off. It carries weight. Like I think he's been probably one like the unsung hero here that added more like emotional element to the bloodline as far as crumbling, but he's been fantastic, man. I really, and I can tell the difference between the two. Before I couldn't tell the difference between Jay and Jimmy. I can now, but these two have just been like milestones above better than they were 10 years ago. But it's been some of the best work that he has had in a long time. But anything as far as did you think Jay was as far as being better or kind of carrying the storyline a little bit more this
I
year?
I kind of have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
I think that the heartbeat of this storyline was Sammy
Sammy?
coming in.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's only because we got to see more layers of Jay.
Right.
Like people were always looking at, oh, this is Roman versus Sammy. This is Roman versus no, it was never Roman versus Sammy, it was Sammy and Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay didn't like Sammy. Jay was mad because he looked like Sammy was coming in to take his spot. Because if we look, Jay has never really stuck up for himself in this. He did for a minute, but then he, when Roman had Jimmy in what was it? I can't remember what move. I want to say it was the Dragon Sleeper or
Mm-hmm.
the I'm not sure what he used. His move to his submission move. He made him submit. He made Jay quit, and Jay has never been one to stand up to Roman.
Talking about the guillotine?
Jimmy stood. Yes.
Okay.
You remember he had him in the guillotine, and he made Jay essentially say I quit to save his brother.
I see.
And Sammy didn't go for that. Sammy took it for so long and was like, you know what? I'm done with this. Popped him with a chair. What did Jimmy say when he super kicked Roman? I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago.
That's true.
So I think it was just seeing the evolution of Jay was just so beautiful. Because I've liked the Usos since they had the face paint. This is going to be my I guess a guilty admission, or this is something that people might make fun of. But back in the day, I was a big fan of the Usos and Miz and Morrison. Those were two of my favorite tag teams to watch. So to see where Jimmy and Jay are now, in the evolution from the face paint to the Uso Penitentiary to the Bloodline to now this, I'm here for it.
Oh yeah,
I'm for this.
They have a really good programming coming up, but I like as far as Jay, as far as his acting, as far as promo work on the mic, his believability. As far as him on the mic, but I really enjoy as far as his work so lately. But
his facials are excellent.
Oh, dude, facial reactions are really good too. Like you're right about. I agree. I think Sammy's the one that pretty much started. He was the catalyst to all this as far as crumbling, but he pretty much Jay for sure like split it in half. Right now we have with the upcoming as far as promo, but getting to what you said, I do agree that Sammy was the catalyst to the entire Bloodline feud as far as going to where they got now. But now we have as far as Roman on his pretty much essentially by himself with Solo only. But good stuff, man. It's by far, to me in WWE, it's mainly the Bloodline and everything else. That's essentially what it is for me. But just fantastic as far as angles. It's one of the best working angles that WWE's had in a long time. It's been years. Like the last good thing they had similar to this was probably the Batista and Triple H angle, I think, when they were the group they were in? I can't remember. Evolution, yeah. Just fantastic work.
And for me, I would have to say that this feud is on the level of Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. That whole rise with them as a tag team, that story that they told, this is on that level for me.
It's just good booking, good storyline telling, or as far as good attention to detail stuff that they're throwing in there. But who knows where they're going to go with it? But I do have as far as the picture, the graphic with as far as Roman holding the portrait with the bloodline. So I found that on Twitter, and I thought I just had to share that. But I thought this was good stuff, man. But the next thing, as far as Money in the Bank on Saturday, July 1st, we do have as far as Roman and Solo versus the Usos in this Bloodline Civil War. Any takeaways from this as far as what you expect to happen?
I think for me personally, it's a little too early to draw conclusions on to where they're going to go with this, because right now either team could win, and they could continue a storyline. So I'm just curious to see, is Roman going to get the one up and the Usos have to come back and win, or the Usos going to get the one up and then Roman is going to be mad and there's going to be I'm just, as right now, I'm trying not to think about it too much. I just want to look at it.
Right.
I want to see what's going to happen. I want to just enjoy this feud, because it's very rare that we get a bunch of feuds that we can enjoy. And this one right here is one of those feuds where it's just like, just sit back, enjoy the ride. Stop trying to predict it all the time, because that's all we try, that's all we try to do as wrestling fans, is we try to predict what's going to happen in fantasy booking. I'm like, what, this time I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this feud and see where it goes.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying, as far as I was against the whole going with Cody and Roman. I thought that should have been dropped, but obviously WWE, you said this before, like WWE knows what they're doing. They actually have a way. They have some direction that they're going with, and I think you're right. It's the best thing you do here is just to kind of just enjoy it. You can fancy book and say maybe Roman and Solo will be the next as far as feud at WrestleMania next year, but who knows where they're gonna go with this. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this is probably the best thing to do is just sit back and watch. But
And to be fair to you, they really haven't earned the leeway for us to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good feud. Let's not fantasy book our own. This is one of the first times in a really long time where we're like, I genuinely can't wait to see what happens from a week to week basis.
right.
Like I don't want to miss an episode where the bloodline are going to be on because I want to see what's going to happen. And that's very, very rare that for me, any company has had me to the point where I I religiously watch SmackDown just to make sure that I don't miss the bloodline stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely must-watch TV for sure. But if you are kind of like a relapse fan, this is probably a good angle to kind of watch again because
Oh
it's
yeah.
really it is white hot right now this angle. So, but we'll see where they go with this. But the next topic I could get into here is the clown reign with Seth Rollins' title defense here with
Oh
currently
God.
calling the working man's belt. He's pretty much defending his title weekly. I do have a picture of him. It looks like he's dressed as the Mask of Zorro, but he is like man, he's had some impressive. Like I think he will go on an impressive run tonight. He does. I believe he is going against Braun Breaker on NXT to defend his title, and then on the following pay per view for Money in the Bank, he's going against Finn Balor. So he's kind of. I guess he's trying to make this kind of like the new Intercontinental title, in my opinion. But I mean, I hate the gimmick, but I like Seth Rollins as the wrestler. Uh, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him as far as what he does because he can definitely put on a good show. Maybe have like the match tonight. I am looking forward to that Finn Balor Seth Rollins match at Money in the Bank. Any thoughts on how they're handling Seth?
Yeah, first I have thoughts on what did Seth Rollins do to you? Were you in like the crowd one day and they were fighting through the crowd and he just
Bro,
like farted and he farted, looked at you and smiled or some shit? Like what did he do to
dude,
you?
it's just this stupid Joker gimmick. Like it's just I just don't think he takes the as far as the character takes anything like serious. Me and you can go back and forth on this. I just don't think he needs the gimmick. I think he's over with the crowd. I think he's essentially copying Becky Lynch's old gimmick where she was like big time Bex or whatever. But they did as far as state that the people internally in WWE, and this is what I read, don't misquote me here, where they believe that that gimmick hurt Becky Lynch's character. I believe that can have as far as the same effect on Seth Rollins. It's not doing that at the moment because I'm in the minority. A lot of people love Seth Rollins. You're one of the ones as far as that likes him. I like the wrestler. I just don't like the stupid gimmick. I just think when he's coming out with the clown shoes and the stupid like Sherbert like suits and coming out as far as dress like the Fifth Element, like Ruby Rod, and then his Mask of Zorro here. I just can't take him serious, man. That's the issue. I just can't take him serious, and that's the problem. And on top of that, the one thing I'm glad you brought that up because the fans singing his theme song without the music playing, it's the new what. I'm gonna say this right now. It's gonna be the new what because not wrestlers whenever they're feuding with Seth Rollins, they're gonna be singing that stupid song, and it's gonna ruin as far as the program. That's just my opinion. The guys has a lot of go away heat from me, but it's mainly because of little details that just really stick out to me.
Fair enough. You know what? I can definitely see that because I must admit when people are singing the song off beat, I get a little irritated. Like you can hear the beat. He's doing everything for you. Just shut the hell up and go with the beat. So from that aspect, I can see it. But I like Seth Rollins. I like what he's
I like
doing.
Seth
I
Rollins
like,
too. I just don't like the stupid gimmick, and that's the issue. But hey, he's a credible champion, so I'll give him that.
and that's what I like. The one thing I don't like about this though is I don't think that your heavyweight title, like your important title, should be defended every week. That's what you have the Intercontinental title for. That's what you have the US title for. When you have titles, your big titles, those are supposed to be spectacles. Those are I want to see the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship defended at WrestleMania, pay-per-views,
Mm-hmm.
not on random Monday Night Raws. Like or do it like you did it in the 90s where every now and then you had one but it meant something important and we know that somebody could lose their title on a Monday Night Raw. Right now anytime I look at Raw and I see a title defense for Seth Rollins because we know Roman's not fighting on SmackDown, but I don't think that he's losing the title.
Not anytime
You
soon.
get what I'm saying?
He shouldn't drop that title anytime soon.
And whenever there's a title match, a lot of the times, unless the story is just so good that you're like, I know who's going to win this match, and I don't care because the story is good. There should be some unpredictability to the match. You should never sit there and be at least 80% sure that somebody's going to win the match. If somebody's a heavyweight contender, they should have the credibility to say, you know what, they can possibly win this match. Like, they're not a slouch. And to me, when you have your heavyweight title being defended all the time, granted, we don't know when he's going to lose it, but none of us expect him to lose it on a Monday Night Raw.
No, it should be on a pay-per-view, but
You know?
I don't think it's
Yeah.
anytime soon.
And see, and to me, that's the problem with his title. If you want somebody to fight all the time, that's why you have Gunther. I mean, that's why you have a mid-card title. The mid-card title is the workman's title. That's literally what they call the Intercontinental or the US or even the TBS title in AEW. Look how often that's defended, or the international title. But you don't see their AEW championship defended all the time. You don't see Roman Reigns defending his championship all the time. You don't see Sonata defending his title or Steve Macklin, but you see Seth Rollins out here busting his ass every week. No, that's not how that's supposed to go when you're the big time champion. And that's my biggest problem with what they're doing with this title.
Yeah,
Is it supposed to? It doesn't feel as important as it should. It feels like it's a substitute title because we couldn't beat Roman.
and they may drop the belt at any point. Who knows when? But you're right. I agree. Like, I think when he does lose the title, it's not going to be as meaningful, say, as Roman dropping the title, which would probably blow a lot of people's minds. But the time is coming. But on Seth Rollins, it could be any time. And that's the part that I think the belt is kind of watered down, or the value of it is somewhat like watered down. I mean, I like that he's wrestling every week and he's going on NXT and having open challenges, but it does the belt is not as meaningful. I do agree with
But
you.
not for the title.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be for the title. Like, it's like Charlotte Flair coming back and challenging Asuka for the title. Like, bro, you've been away for a long time. You don't just get to come in here, whip your dick out, throw it on the table, and be like, I want a title shot.
Yeah.
You know, that's not how this goes. There's a reason why people are supposed to win and lose. Like, what is the point of seeing people win and lose if they're not, like Natalya? Natalya always loses. Why is she getting title shots? You get what I'm saying? At least have people come back, win, do something. If you want to have Seth Rollins fight people and then somebody beats him, you say, oh, yeah, you know what? Now this person gets a title shot. I can accept that more than I can accept Seth Rollins coming out and be like, well, I had to earn this title. I had to fight my way to the top, but you can just come out for an open challenge and accept and have a chance at my title. No, that's what Money in the Bank is for. That's what the Royal Rumble is for. That's what winning matches is for. It's supposed to set you up to be a legitimate contender. Not, hey, yeah, you just came out first. Fuck out of here. That makes no sense. But that's my biggest problem with Seth Rollins is not the problem to me. It's the way that they're structuring
it,
his title reign.
For sure.
And that's personal opinion. I know some people like the fact that the title is always being defended and it's always recognized. It can be recognized on his shoulder and on his waist while people are trying to fight for the opportunity to fight him. It's supposed to be an opportunity, not some open challenge where it's just like, yep, come on now. You coming off the street? You've never wrestled for WWE before? Come on and get a title shot.
Yeah.
Because that's what an open challenge is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like, perfect example is when AEW had when the pandemic was around, it was here, and they had the TBS title, not the TBS title. I'm sorry, the TNT title.
Cody.
And there was he had open challenges, but it was people from other companies also that came in and challenged. That's what an open challenge is. It subjects you to anybody who wants to fight you. Why would Seth Rollins do that? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I think it's more with the booking issue. It's more of a booking issue, in my opinion.
Of course, it's a booking issue, but he's the one who's being booked to say the stupidity, to say the stupid shit. So if he's saying it, we have to take it like it's coming from him. We all know wrestling is scripted, so he's being handed a script. But why does your script make him look like an idiot?
Oh, it sounds like you're saying from my perspective now.
Well, but only in aspect, not from his character, but from the way that they're booking him to be open to fighting anybody. And I should say his character structure, not like how he presents himself, but the fact that he's saying, hey, yeah, anybody can come and fight a time. Could you imagine MJF after with that Adam Cole match and the time ran out, him being like, oh yeah, I'll give you another 5 minutes. No, my dude, you lost. I'm taking my title, going to the window, getting my money, and I'm going home. That's like, what it's supposed to be.
See you in 3 months, buddy.
Yes.
God,
Like what? Like Seth Rollins should not be fighting as much as he should,
no,
and I think
he
that
shouldn't.
that's a big problem and is devaluing that title.
Very true, but I mean, we kind of went long on this, but valid points. You did open a window as far as conversation for my issues with Seth Rollins, but also probably the biggest issue is how they're as far as presenting this belt. But we'll see how this goes when moving on to Money in the Bank and going to SummerSlam. We both agree we don't expect him to lose anytime soon, but he should not be wrestling every week. But anyway,
Hell no.
but going from one clown to another, we did have as far as Logan Paul return last Monday night. He was as far as brought back. I was actually surprised that I was assuming he was going to be part of Money in the Bank, and the one thing I wasn't expecting was that he would be inserted into the ladder match. That was the part that was really shocking to me. So you have as far as the 7 competitors going up in Money in the Bank. I do have as far as some Vegas odds as far as update as far as him at it. I was very surprised as far as what they had him in as far as who should win the ladder match. The top person still favored is still LA Knight, but
I wanted to guess.
but the second person I'm guessing you're gonna guess is
I'm gonna guess Damian Priest, if not
no.
Logan Paul.
No,
Is
Logan Paul. So Logan Paul is a plus 125. Damian Priest is
Wow.
actually plus 150. So they're actually thinking that Logan Paul has a chance to possibly win this. But yeah, as I said, and you as far as who you believe, it is as far as LA Knight. LA Knight is as far as the favorite to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but LA Knight has gone so over with the crowd. He is fantastic. The guy sounds like The Rock. Looks like Stone Cold, sounds like The Rock, but he has definitely gotten over with the crowd. He should be the heavy favorite to win Money in the Bank on that day. But I'm very much looking forward to this match. It should be good, but it's kind of a toss up in my opinion with LA Knight and Logan Paul. But what would you think if Logan Paul won this match?
I would think that he's gonna challenge Seth and continue that feud that they had earlier.
Man, that was a good match too. But I mean, what
That's
about
the only
Roman though?
Roman already beat him.
I mean, but he could challenge him again.
Why?
I don't. I'm just saying, as far as the sake conversation, I mean, you can do that. But
No,
I think
I get it.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it makes more sense for him to fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Why would he want to fight Roman again? He's already lost, and he didn't have a big program with him. That was just a one-off in Saudi. With Seth Rollins, they had a whole program. They don't like each other. Well, storyline wise, I don't know about that person, but they don't like each other. So I could see him, if he did somehow win Money in the Bank, being like, I don't like you, so I'm gonna take what you love the most, and and them having a big match to try to whatever they're gonna. I hope they don't put the title on.
Oh my god! I mean, don't get me wrong. I would prefer Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins in a title match, obviously maybe at SummerSlam. But man, they had a banger match at WrestleMania. Those two were so good. And
Logan Paul is good.
Yeah, and like Logan Paul is such like I like that they stopped forcing him down our throats as a babyface and just became a natural heel. He has such a punchable face that it's easy to dislike him, but he is just a really good heel. But it's a fantastic athlete. Like he's one of the most impressive rookies that I've seen or come on as far as in the first year of wrestling. That well in the ring since like dare I say Kurt Angle, and I don't know if you're gonna fight me on that, but I mean just a really good natural athlete and just a really dislikable heel. Not Damien or Dominic Mysterio heat, but he has some heat. But I mean, are you saying you prefer Logan Paul to possibly win over LA Knight, or
no? God no. I want LA Knight to win.
Yeah, I like LA Knight too, man. But man, this is going to be in the UK, so that crowd is going to be on fire for this match. So,
especially for LA Knight.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I like LA Knight. I'm glad he's getting over because he didn't get a shot at WrestleMania. They excluded him in Los Angeles of all places. But I'm glad he's getting a little bit as far as the limelight here at Money in the Bank, especially in the UK. They're gonna definitely that crowd's gonna be real hot for him. But the other thing was for
No, I was saying I'm happy for him too because they haven't done anything really with him except put him with the maximum male models, and it was just like, why? Why are you wasting him? He's already up there in age, so we know that WWE is not gonna do much with him. Why would you put him in a go nowhere, faction, a comedy faction? That's not LA Knight. Give him. By now, he should have had like the U.S. title. I don't know why they still have it on Austin Theory. I don't know why they still have it on Austin Theory. It should be on LA Knight right now.
I mean, well, we'll see. Like, I'm more interested in this match now than before. Like, I mean, I was looking kind of forward to LA Knight as far as and Money in the Bank, but now with Logan Paul, he's just an extra layer to this match, and including Ricochet being out here, and also,
Meh.
huh?
I said meh. Oh, only because I know that I like him, but I know he's not going to win.
Well, I can list off as far as who Vegas doesn't think is going to win. Pretty much, essentially,
Everybody else.
yeah, everyone else is minus. Or I'm sorry, plus 2,000. Like Pete Dunne, as far as Escobar, Ricochet, Shinsuke, no one really thinks that they're going to win. So,
And I still think that Bronson Reed is going to be added in.
that's crazy. I have 8 people in that match. I've never seen that many people in the ladder match. But hey, I'm all for it, man.
But he's won. He literally got he won against whatchamacallit, because we know disqualifications count. So Shinsuke Nakamura got Ricochet disqualified, and then he just pinned Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
So how can you tell him that he shouldn't be in the match?
I mean,
He lost. That's why he shouldn't be in. But
I mean,
I'm going by WWE logic.
If we get some high spots with Bronson Reed, maybe like a swanton bomb up, a swanton dive off the top ladder, like a Jeff Hardy spot, I'm all for it, brother. But I doubt we're gonna get that.
Break somebody in half.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Jeff
But
Hardy does not care.
the one other match, the other ladder match, the women's ladder match, I almost forgot. They did as far as I mean, I don't know if you have any interest in it, but I'll go over the Vegas favorites. Like Io Sky actually is the favorite to win that one, surprisingly, and minus 400. Becky is, I don't know. I just I would assume Becky would be the one, but I guess I haven't been paying attention. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been paying attention much to the women's division. There's not been much intrigue outside of Rhea Ripley, in my opinion. But I mean, other than that, Becky is a plus 350, Bailey is a plus 500, Trish is a plus 2,000. So I guess Io is going to be the favorite, but I guess you want to add on to the Io Sky Vegas odds?
Well, I think that Io Sky was probably that person that they want to fight Asuka. You know, I know that they have history, and I think that they're both really, really good. And I love when they cut their promos in Japanese against each other when they're talking to each other. It's so much intensity, and the fact that I don't know what they're saying is just like they're talking some kind of shit, boy. This is entertaining.
Well, you're assuming that Asuka's gonna beat Charlotte, I guess. Are they wrestling at Money in the Bank?
I don't know, but God, I hope. I don't want Charlotte to win again.
I mean, dude, I'm tired of seeing Charlotte. I like her too, but I don't want to see her win again.
I would have rather. What I'm hoping for is they have a match and Bianca comes out and costs Charlotte the match, and Charlotte and Bianca have a feud.
I forgot about Bianca. Wow.
And I do like how they're adding Bianca into this. And the reason I don't think Trish or Becky would win, and that's why I don't think Becky would be, I don't think that she should be the favorite, is because Zoe Stark is going to come out there and she's going to cost Becky. I mean, we know this.
Yeah.
As soon as Trish got it, even if Trish wasn't in there, matter of fact, if Trish wasn't in there, it'd be Trish and Zoe coming out to beat up Becky.
I mean, that feud's going to continue with Trish and Becky for sure.
And don't they? How many people do they have in there? 6, 5?
I'm not too sure. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been paying too much attention to the women's, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't think I don't think any of them are going to win, to be honest. But outside of the men's, I think the men's is likely maybe to get a championship turn, but not the women's. But I don't know. They haven't really. I mean, who's to say they don't include Bianca in there into the Money Back? She might win it, or they insert Natalya again, and no one gives a damn about her. Like, I don't know.
No. Becky is definitely not winning.
Yeah, no,
you have Zoe Stark and you have Trish in there. Yeah. There's no way Becky's winning. It has to be Io. Nobody else makes any sense. Io and Bailey are sitting there. They're going back and forth, and Io looks like she's primed to be the babyface because Bailey just keeps acting on some next shit. You have Trish and Zoe against Becky, Becky Lynch, and I hate to sound like this guy, but come on. We know Zelina Vega doesn't have a chance.
I mean,
come on. She has no chance of winning this. Her odds have to be at like 10,000 or something.
No, I don't. I saw Trish is the lowest one. I don't know.
Oh, Wow,
where
Trish was
she was.
lower
Yeah,
than Tamina?
yeah. I'll double check that, but I mean, we none of them are gonna win like
Wow.
that. It's probably Io for
Yeah, no,
sure.
it got to be. She's the only one who makes sense out of these 6 women. It was weird they only have 6, they have 7 men, but
I guess we'll see, but we'll find out. But okay, but anyway, transition over to the premiere of AEW Collision from last Saturday. Uh, it was a great show, in my opinion. It had a good as far as intro promo from CM Punk, a great main event also featuring as far as CMFTR versus the Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe. Um, CM Punk did as far as come back into Chicago. That crowd for sure was thirsty for CM Punk to return. I think outside of Chicago, no one really cared as far as for CM Punk, but he had a hell of a promo as far as cutting essentially what happened previously in the events, in the past events with the brawl out during as far as the all out scrum during the feud with him and the Elite, a lot of stuff that happened internally. Um, any thoughts as far as with CM Punk's promo during Collision?
I thought it
Other
was
than
an
you say you
interesting.
didn't care. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't care about their drama. I don't care about the behind the scenes stuff. As long as they're putting on good matches, I don't really care. I do think that after listening to this promo, I think that now we're gonna start to get the work. I think they're gonna turn a shoot into a work. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's how you do it. If you have backstage friction, you just turn it into money. And that's pretty much what I think about it. I mean, we all expected him to come back and say something, and he did exactly what we said. It was a decent promo. Looks like they're setting up something with probably MJF or whoever's going to be the champion when he's ready to challenge, because he has his championship in the red bag. Even though you were hurt for 8 months, bro, they were going to strip you of it regardless of what happened. You can say that you didn't lose it, but
Mm-hmm.
you also didn't retain it either, because you got hurt and had to go away. So I mean, overall, I just look at CM Punk, and I'm curious to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah, a lot to take away from the promo. There was, I mean, there's a lot of attention to detail. Like I kind of like to it, but the last time he came on, and I'll get into this, I don't want to get into the whole like conspiracy theory thing, but the last time he came on with a shaved head and he pulled off the logo off the microphone was his heel turn prior in WWE prior to his first turning heel. He did the same thing again 10 years later, from 2013 to 2023 in his hometown in Chicago. But I'll definitely look a little more to the red bag, but a little attention to detail. He did as far as unveil a new shirt. It was kind of paying homage to Roddy Piper, where instead of the Panther, he had Larry the dog, and Larry the dog is an ugly dog. I don't know if you've ever seen him before, but uh, I will say as far as one detail about Larry the dog that I heard from Andrew Zarian from Matt Man, he did as far as he didn't go too much into detail about talking about the Elite. He did as far as say that he did reach out to Kenny Omega. He wasn't sure how much detail went into that conversation or how far it went, but I assume CM Punk probably was grateful that Punk did what he did as far as trying to save his dog. And I don't know if he apologized, like, "Hey, I'm sorry."
You mean Omega?
Yes, Omega. Like I don't know what I said, but when he reached out to Omega, that thanked him for trying to save his dog, because Omega is an animal lover. Maybe apologize on behalf as far as saying that I'm sorry that my friend Ace Steel bit you too, but I mean I thought that shirt was whatever, but it was all right like, as far as the shirt itself. But anyway, going as far as a little more detail with the CM Punk promo, my thoughts. The one thing he kept as far as saying over and over, other than tell me when I'm telling lies, was the business portion, and you did bring that up as well. I do agree with you. I think he's working us. I do believe that some sort of agreement has taken place. Whether this moves forward where we have CM Punk and FTR feuding with the Elite, or if they leave and the Elite goes to WWE, who knows what happens. I think ultimately CM Punk will get what he wants, whether he wants to feud with the Elite and make money, or they take off and the Elite make their own money. But overall, I thought the show felt different as far as Collision goes. It felt like a new promotion or like a new launch, in my opinion. But I thought that was interesting as far as the takeaway from CM Punk's promo and the business aspect of it. Other than him saying that, I'm sorry that your wrestlers that you like are softer than you are.
That
Beyond
took a
that,
lot of nerve to say that.
oh yeah, man. But other than inside in Chicago, he was a hero. But man, once he's outside of Chicago, it's fair game, and I think he's aware of that. and hence what I'm thinking he's alluding to, maybe kind of a heel turn, because depending on how you interpret it, how what he said, some people took it as a hero promo, some people took it as a heel promo. So I think once he gets to Canada, man, are they gonna let him hear it? Because my goodness, that's as far as what's coming up with it. But other than that, I did like as far as the main event. Where we did, like I said, we had as far as CM Punk and FTR versus the Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe. Anything that you liked from that match? Were you surprised?
I mean, I can't say I was surprised because we knew who was coming back. Um, I
What?
look at Miro,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been waiting for him to come back. That Buddy Andrade match was fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
that was fantastic.
That was a match. My
It
God,
was
that was
physical.
such a good match. Oh, and then the way that they sold their injuries,
Mm-hmm.
like it was such a good match. So I mean, overall, I thought it was a decent start to a new show. That it was the kind of start that they needed. Like you said, Punk was gonna be over in Chicago. We all know that. That mean he was going to be over in
Oh yeah,
Chicago.
no question.
As soon as they heard Punk was coming back, the tickets started flying. They
Mm-hmm.
started flying off the shelves. And I mean, if you can't make money off of this, because this is like on a platform,
Mm-hmm.
then what are you doing? And with Punk, you've gone out here, and to be frank, you said whatever you've wanted to say since you were in WWE for the most part. You always have something to say about somebody. They're going to have stuff to say back to you. You can't get mad when you talk shit about Hangman or the Bucks or whatever,
Or
and
getting chopped.
you yeah, you want to say come see me, and people come see you. You can't call people soft when you're out here talking about I had to defend myself against Hangman because I didn't know if he was gonna shoot on me and go into business for himself. He chopped me in the mouth. Bro, it's wrestling. People get chopped everywhere by accident. We've seen people get hit by chairs and all kind of things happen by accident. I'm quite sure nothing about Hangman has ever said, from what we know, that he's out here trying to hurt people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They said that he was hurting people with his buckshot lariat. What did he do? He toned it down. So I think that CM Punk I think he's being kind of a bitch about it at points.
Yeah,
And
he
you
is
want
kind
to
of
you
being
want to act
hypocritical.
like
I'm not gonna lie, because you're right about what you said. Like, you can't call out people and say like, "Oh, Hangman like chopped me and he chipped my tooth," and then you have Samoa Joe chop you 3 times in front of your own crowd and not say anything about that. Like, I thought that was kind of hypocritical, but because Samoa Joe just laid it in on him, holy shit.
but he just bitches about everything. He's mad about Hangman's promo, but he wasn't mad when Eddie Kingston or Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or MJF cut the same exact promos.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He didn't have nothing to bitch about with them. So as much as I do like seeing CM Punk, and I like him on my screen because I think he is entertaining, he acts like a hypocrite and he talks shit for no reason. And if you feel a certain way as a businessman in somebody else's business, you should go to them as a person and be like, look, we need to talk about this behind closed doors. Now, I don't know if that's happened. I don't think it's ever come out whether he tried to smooth over whatever it is with the actual people he had the issues with. But
mm,
isn't that what you say grown men do in the locker room back in wrestling? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Wasn't there like a court or something in WWE, wrestlers court? I thought that the
yeah.
that the wrestlers are supposed to police the locker room. Bro, you're new there. Learn the landscape, learn the people, and just chill. Instead, he came out, talked all his shit. Now he wants to play the victim.
Well, I
And I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
that doesn't work for me, brother.
I mean, well, we'll see where it goes. Like, this can go multiple ways as far as how they're going to be receptive of CM Punk. But this being designated as the CM Punk show, as I know you've given me shit for that, But you did, as far as say something earlier when we were offline, that where Tony, like the one person you should blame for all this is Tony Khan because of the fact that he put him
Facts.
up front. He's always being put up front for the title picture as far as the promo. He was literally the cover person for the debut of Collision, and he's up front here. He's up in front of everybody. They're labeling this as his show. If this fails, I mean, you can easily. I will blame Punk for this. Like, if it failed, CM Punk, they just didn't draw enough attention or didn't sell enough tickets. But we'll see how this goes. Yeah.
If this fails, this is bad booking. That's all. You have a roster. I'm sorry. CM Punk is not going to make or break this show. You're putting it on a Saturday, which is already going to be a hard enough time because it's the summertime. Who the fuck is going to be home at 8 o'clock on a Saturday to try to watch this? Then you have all this talent. So you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball as far as your time slot, which is probably they couldn't do anything about. But you have all of this talent. If CM Punk still couldn't come back, if he didn't come back, you would still have to run a show. You feel me?
Yeah.
And with the talent that he has, it's not like he has slouch talent on this show. You have Miro, you have Andrade, you have Willow, you have FTR, you have Punk, you have
the Acclaim.
Hobbs.
They're sharing talent for sure.
You have those are good names. If if the show doesn't pop, it's because of bad booking. Because let's be real, Dynamite it's not that Dynamite is bad because the wrestlers aren't putting on great matches, because the matches have still been great on Dynamite. It's bad because the booking of the show has not been entertaining. That's why WWE has been so good. They are putting on decent. Triple H is allowing these guys to put on decent matches, but on top of that, the booking, especially in Roman's case, has been strong. So anytime you have strong booking, you're going to have people interested. When you have bad booking, you're going to have people not interested. And when you get into a time like the summertime where people are going out, school is about to be out, people are going on vacation, your bad booking going into the summer can be hazardous to your show. Because people have to now make time to watch it, because people are not just going to be home, to watch it. So now these pay-per-views that are coming up are really important because you have to set a tone for the summer. You have to.
True. I think the booking has been somewhat subpar for sure. I do agree with you. It's not been the best, but I think they probably are off to a good start right now, and we have as far as several pay-per-views to talk about. But overall, what happened in the main event, they did have as far as FTR and CM Punk go over on Juice Robinson, and man, can I say Juice Robinson? Like I've come around on this guy. I did not like him. He was kind of an eyesore, but dude, he is so good. Like, he's just such a dislikable person, like, but in a good way. He has good heat, especially when you wear pants like those. Like, my God, like, I don't know if you saw the green pants he had. He actually had his face on his right thigh. I just laughed so hard when I saw it, but I really like him. His little mannerisms in the ring too, when he just starts screaming, "Ha ha!" like stuff. Just being like a little like goofy villain. I really like him, but.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I became a fan when Moxley beat him for the United States title in NJPW. That's when I started paying attention to, because I didn't really know much about him. Like, I knew about quite a few of the Japanese wrestlers, but I didn't pay attention to it like I did this. It was in the States, and Moxley going over there, I must say, really got me to pay more attention. Like, I knew about Chris Jericho and the Painmaker and all of that other stuff. Yeah. But watching Moxley go over there and have matches with take Shota under his wing and have matches with Juice Robinson, that's what really got me hooked. And
he's been good.
He's been really good. He was good with David Finlay also. Don't sleep on what he did with David Finlay. I know that David Finlay is not doing the best right now as the leader of the Bullet Club, if that's what he really is, but
it's kind of whack.
I think that they had a decent Juice Robinson and Finlay, I think, had a decent run.
I like this little Bullet Club Gold running. Those shirts are nice, man. They look clean. Like I would like to get one of those like gold logo Bullet Club shirts, but we'll see as far as where it goes from there. But the one thing as far as I will say that I was kind of surprised, there was no run-ins during as far as at the end of the show. I was expecting maybe like a Kenta or someone from New Japan to show up, and no one did. So I don't know, man. I thought there was the one question I had is like, where do they go from here? Like, they didn't even announce anything for next week. They announced stuff for Dynamite, but I felt like it would have been a good idea to run some sort of angle or something that was exclusive to Dynamite. But They didn't do much here, but moving on as far as like with the
Well, let me just ask you
sure.
about that. Do you think that they're doing that? Did they did that because they are having Forbidden Door the day after, and they're just going to use it as like a buffer show?
I'm glad you brought that up because it is Forbidden Door week, and I expect a lot of run-ins. I mean, I guess I'll backtrack what I said. They're really. I know Meltzer did bring this, and I can't believe he actually got the point across when he said it. That there weren't going to be that many New Japan guys available during last week, but there will be more this week, especially it being this week for Forbidden Door. Um, I don't know. I guess I don't. But the question here is like, does CM Punk feud with anyone at Forbidden Door?
Personally, I think it would be stupid not to have him on the card. You have him here, put him against somebody. There's somebody who I'm sure if you can't get Kenta, there's somebody in New Japan who has watched CM Punk and is like, you know what, I wouldn't mind wrestling that guy.
I mean,
There's got to be somebody. You're
it,
not going to tell me that there's not one person.
it would have been Hiroshi Tanahashi, but Hiroshi's tied up, and I'll bring that up a little bit later as far as who he's feuding. But yeah, I don't know, man. I guess we'll kind of see how this goes. I'm looking. I mean, Saturdays is something to add on. Going back to what you said, who's going to watch shows on Saturday nights from 8 to 10? There's probably people in my demographic who are kind of getting older who don't mind sitting at home watching and drinking a beer and watching this. I'll definitely.
I'm
watch
older
this.
than you, and I don't want to sit in the house at 8 o'clock and watch fucking wrestling.
I mean, I'll look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It was a good show, but I think it may cool down later on. But we'll see where this goes. But I will go back as far as also backtracking. I forgot to mention the red bag. You did as far as allude to this. The belt. He did as far as allude that he had what he in the bag was what he was holding over his head. That he's pretty much talking about the championship belt because he never really lost it. It got stripped because of the whole as far as scrum brawl out or whatever.
And his injury. Let's not forget he wasn't going to be able to defend it.
True,
He
he
was hurt.
was coming back from injury and whatnot, but I guess the next thing he was pretty much kind of hinting a rematch, or not a rematch, but he pretty much was saying that he was still the champion, which is bullshit. MJF is obviously the champion, but I mean, I did send you a graphic as far as someone did as far as posted on Twitter with MJF versus CM Punk at All In. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
You know what I have to say to that?
Sure. I mean, I would love to see it. Listen, my fancy booking would be CM Punk and MJF in at all out in Chicago, and have say as far as a decade later where MJF does the blowaway kiss to CM Punk, kind of history repeats itself. That would be my fancy booking to it, and have CM Punk reign continue. That
You know the only reason I wouldn't like that is because AEW apes the shit out of WWE.
yeah,
as it is.
that's what I'm saying. Like they tend to
They
copy.
ape the shit out of WWE. There's only so many storylines that you can retell without people realizing, hey, look, you retelling that story I just saw a couple of years ago, bro.
Yeah. Well, MJF loves to bring up WWE a lot, so I figured that would be the one reason why I could see that finish. That just since he likes to bring up Triple H and Vince and everybody. I mean, do you think they'll ever wrestle anytime soon?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they'll definitely wrestle, but I think that Adam Cole should be next in line.
I agree.
But I do
I'm
think
more
that they'll
interested in that.
wrestle. Yeah, I think that. Of course, CM Punk and MJF has to wrestle because they never got to blow off their feud. So they definitely.
Yeah, that
have
was
to
prior
wrestle.
to the pipe bomb, right? Or MJF's pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was such a good promo too. But we'll definitely we'll revisit this in the future. But I agree. I think they'll have a match. Who knows when? But I'm more interested in the Adam Cole and MJF angle for a minute. We'll probably get that maybe at All Out in Chicago, but we shall see. The one thing I did want to bring up also, post Collision, as far as
What's up?
what has happened, I did want to bring up as far as a couple things. I think I sent you the graphic, the CM Punk effect of AEW Collision. With CM Punk returning, he has as far as boosted or have a spike in ticket sales, and specifically in Canada, they are still a little bit more. Last I saw from what I got the graphic from was they had a setup of 5,417 available tickets where they've distributed already 4,400, and there's only about less than 1,000 left, and I'm pretty sure it will sell out by Saturday. I think, but especially with Forbidden Door around the corner, I'm pretty sure they'll have more walk-ups and they'll sell out the event
Probably.
prior to it. But I think we'll see. Time will tell. I'll see how much he will impact.
You want to laugh? I think people are buying tickets to boo him.
Dude, and I'm here for it too. Like, kind of, would you love to say I'm gonna steal line? I'm an agent of chaos. I can't wait to see it, man.
Oh
Like,
yes,
it,
because I love watching things break down like this. Because they're trying to figure out where the crowd is going to go. But when you have wrestling fans, like when WWE says after WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania, these are the most unpredictable fans that we have in the business. Yes, no, those are. I think that right now with what's happening with Punk, these are going to be some of the most unpredictable times that they're going to go through when it comes to reactions for Punk and the Bucks. Because the more from my aspect, and we've talked about this extensively offline and a little bit on, I don't care as much because backstage stuff should be backstage stuff. We were talking about earlier how there were fights in WWE that we didn't know till later on, what happened. I think that that's how it should be. And when you start pulling back the curtain and you start telling everybody's business, people are going to pick a side. There's no doubt about it. That's how people are. Like me personally, I don't know the Punks. I don't know the Bucks. I don't know Punk. I don't know Omega. So I don't really care who's right and who's wrong. I don't care who got punched in their face and who got bitten. It's not my business. If that was a regular job, they'd all be fired anyway. So I don't really care. What I do care about is how this is going to project to the ring. Are you guys adult enough to do business? Are you guys adult enough to put on a good show? This is what I want to see. So I don't care about the sides like everybody's trying to make it. So with people buying tickets just to boo or cheer him, bro, you should just be buying tickets to see a good show. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's kind of my outlook on this whole thing. So when it comes back to who's gonna boo him in this town, who's gonna boo the Bucks, who's gonna boo, I don't really care because everybody's trying to give an opinion on something that had really nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's not like they did something heinous where somebody should be locked up and we should look at somebody different. They had a fight. It was a fight. Who listening to this has never had a fight? We've all won a fight. We've all lost a fight. It happens.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I think they're moving forward with it. I think CM Punk is kind of moving forward, but that crowd, you're not wrong, man. It is what, as WWE calls them, bizarro world. But I know Meltzer said they're more ahead of the curve world as far as Canada or Canadian fans. I'm looking forward to it, man, because they're gonna boo this man unmercifully. The thing is, though, I think CM Punk is probably gonna be game for it because he's probably expecting that. But he's done it before with MJF in New York, so. I think CM Punk as a heel is a really good heel, but we'll see. I'm very curious to see how it goes. I will be there for it for Saturday. I'm very much looking forward to this week as opposed to I was in Chicago. So, but moving on as far as to what's going on next in Canada, we do have as far as prior to going to Canada. I'm sorry, we do have as far as AEW Dynamite with the preview as far as coming up. They did add Bryan Danielson calling on Okada for Wednesday show, so I expect Okada to be there in the building. Man, I expect a lot of, as far as New Japan guys to show up, because we have a nice little Dynamite card coming up as far as what we have. And I think I showed you the graphic.
I'm looking at it right now, actually.
Anything that stuck out to you here?
I mean, are you being serious right now? Stop it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't act like you don't know what the best match on this card is right here.
It's Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe.
Stop it. You know what? Thank you for listening, folks. I think this is over. I appreciate it. But no, I'm looking forward to that Orange Cassidy Shibata versus Daniel Garcia.
Oh, dude, that's going to be a banger. Yeah.
That's going to be a technical it's going to be a hard-hitting technical marvel, I hope, anyway. Well, it should be.
Probably good. From Shibata's side, probably, but I don't know. Daniel Garcia and Zack
Sabre Jr. He's going to hit hard.
Oh, yeah.
They are technical as hell.
Oh, for
sure, and I think that Orange Cassidy is the you know what I'm gonna take that back. I'm actually interested to hear from Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, I don't know what he can do with
Japan for a while. He came out and he was in that and he was like, I don't care what you do to the rest of the BBC, and I said that on purpose. I don't care what you do to the rest of the BBC, just don't hit Moxley. And Moxley is like, fuck you. And I'm just like, oh shit, what's happening here?
Well, they already said the Elite and Kenny Omega will not be in Chicago.
But they did a backstage promo. Yeah, I heard that too. But Eddie Kingston is going to be there, so I want to see what he's doing in this because like I said, he's been away for a while.
I mean,
He's been out there fighting in New Japan.
I assume they're gonna focus more on that. The last time we saw him in AEW was he quit. Now he's back, so they need to explain that part. Like, hey, we're just gonna oversee that and kind of like forget about that. No, like that's what I distinctly remember from him. But maybe they'll set up something in Forbidden Door. I assume, I don't know, man. Maybe they'll again. I don't know who they're gonna put him against, but curious to see what happens there. The one thing that's kind of interesting is going to be the Hardys versus the Guns.
No, that's not going to be interesting. That's going to be a train
dude. You want to talk about chaos? I mean, this is going to be really bad. Jeff Hardy, man, he better have a better match because my goodness, I know next time we do this, if Jeff does not have a good match, I know D's ready to grill him, but
we're going to see how good the Guns are because they're going to have to carry the shit out of him. Because that's not going to be good.
That's going to be bad, man. But
and they're good. I like the Guns. People don't like them. I like the Guns. When your father was Mr. Astor, you know how to wrestle. So I like them. And I think that with them and Matt Hardy, they can do something. But Jeff has not looked good. And I don't dislike Jeff. I've never been a big fan of his.
Me neither.
But I've always liked to. I don't mind. It's like Darby Allin. I like seeing him in the ring because you don't have people who are just going to throw their body at you. You know, a lot of people are going to try to wrestle you. They're just going to throw their bodies at you 100%, but that has a finite timeline. And Jeff Hardy has reached his expiration date. Even Darby Allin knows that, is going to come at some point. Jeff, your time has come. The last time I saw Jeff Hardy, and I was just like, you know what? I think he needs to be done. He was fighting Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell, and he was holding on to the top of the cell. And he dropped off and Randy Orton moved and he went through the table. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to see this anymore. I do not want to see him do this anymore. I get scared for him. I don't want to see him hurt himself. And the last time when they did the promo this past week, he didn't look like he was all there. Could he be? That might just be his look now. I don't know. But I get nervous when I see Jeff Hardy in the ring. I'm sorry. And that's just the way it is. I used to feel that way about Jimmy Uso. And not because he did drugs, but or his DUIs. Mm-hmm. So you never know what people are doing. And I don't watch wrestling for people to get hurt. I watch this be entertained. People getting hurt is not entertaining to me. So I hope that you know what will be entertaining to me? In that concession stand match, if Mark Briscoe takes one of those little fingers and pokes Jeff Jarrett in the eye, I would be fucking amazing. Oh man, I'm going to laugh my ass off if that happens. Bro, they got to give me that. You have to give me that comedy spot where he takes the big ass hand with the pointy finger and just stick Jeff Jarrett in the eye with it. You call it a concession stand match or brawl. You gotta have that. Come on, bro.
I'm looking forward to that. Of course, you've already called me a Jeff Jarrett mark, and I definitely am a mark of Jeff Jarrett. But I'm looking forward to that match. It should be really good. Real quick, as far as disclaimer, I do want to point out we're not as far as Jeff Hardy goes. I'm not a fan of him. D has already pointed out, as far as concerns with Jeff Hardy, we are concerned about his well-being. That we are just praying and hoping that he doesn't hurt himself or hurt someone else. So just being clear, we don't hate Jeff Hardy the person. We just hope that we should really reflect as far as we hope that everything works out for him. But hopefully he turns his life around. But just a quick disclaimer on that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Never. He's battling his own demons. Everybody has their demons and their vices. I am not one to judge anybody. I don't think anybody should judge him. The only thing that I have a problem with, like I said, is I remember that match. I never remember the pay-per-view, but I remember his championship match against Sting, where he was fucked up, and I don't use that term lightly. He could barely stand, and this is a history with him. I watched that match where he tried to do the twist of fate and he couldn't do it. Then he tried to jump up and slipped off the ropes. And I'm sorry, Matt Hardy, he didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's getting scary. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's scary because the last thing we want to see is a repeat of God Rest His Soul, Owen Hart, where they're doing something crazy. And he wasn't even doing something that crazy. He was doing something that he had done 1,000,000 times. But I don't want to see these guys do something crazy. And the next thing you know, he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. We've seen all of these things, whether it's Draw's dog, whether it was Owen dropping Steve on his neck, and then he had neck and back issues from that point on. Whether it was Sid breaking his leg, whether it was Matt Hardy falling off the ladder and cracking his head and having a concussion and trying to continue the match. That's not fun. That's not entertaining for me to see. I don't watch wrestling for people to get hurt. I watch wrestling for people to have a fake match where they're doing real moves and protecting each other so everybody can go home to their families. That's why I watch it. It's entertaining for me and I like it. Watching Jeff Hardy go out there and you're sitting there worried like, oh God, I hope I don't watch. Like I said, we both said we watched 1997. We watched that pay-per-view with Owen. I don't want to sit there watching Jeff Hardy do some shit and now, him or somebody else in the ring is messed up for life. If it is all an act, he's a great performer. Hats off to you. But it doesn't look like an act. It looks like at this point it's just a scary, scary situation.
Yeah.
And he's just coming back from another DUI or whatever it was he has. People say that he shouldn't get another chance. I don't really care. It's not my money. It's not my company. I just don't want to see him or somebody else get hurt. And that's where I'll leave that when it comes to Jeff Hardy and how I feel about it. There's nothing against the person, the man, the wrestler. It's just a matter of safety for him and everybody else, because that's not why I watch wrestling, to see people get hurt.
No, well said. I couldn't have said any better, but just added context in there. But other than that, I do think he's a terrible worker. Anyway,
I wouldn't say terrible.
Lately he's been terrible. He's been terrible.
Oh, lately, yes. Yeah. Lately, oh God, yes. Lately, God, yes. Oh my God, I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
I just mean overall, he was talented. We can sit here and do a whole Hardy's Boy retrospective, and I can tell you how much as I'm not a huge fan of Jeff, I can appreciate his work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be a fan of you to appreciate what you do. And I appreciate his work, and the effort that he puts in is just like, at this point, you should stop. you should stop, bro.
I just hope we'll find out. I guess that Dynamite is tomorrow. So I guess we'll definitely talk about that maybe at Forbidden Door, and we'll bring that up as far as a recap. But it is Forbidden Door, like I said. I do as far as expect more matches to be added onto the card, or more matches to be determined. Hopefully they don't add like 5 or 6 on Saturday. That's
after we do our predictions, right?
Yeah, after we do our predictions. So D already said we'll definitely do a prediction show for Forbidden Door. But one of the matches they did, as far as that on, moving on to the next thing, they did as far as announce, they officially signed, I'm doing air quotes, MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. They did as far as get MJF's they asked MJF as far as like, hey MJF, you know you're going to wrestle Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm like, and MJF said pretty much with a Hogan line,
that doesn't work for me, brother.
Dude, he might as well just said that, honestly. But I do think this match will take place. I don't know if you're.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. They're gonna do it, and I love how he's like, no, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, look, Tony, I've no-showed bookings before,
and he did. That's referring to what was it? That were nothing from last year. Was it?
Yeah, when he lost to Wardlow.
Yeah, that so that was just a brilliant callback from MJF. But no, I expect this match to happen. I think it would be good. I don't think it's gonna be the best match, but
no,
you never know.
No.
I think it's...
But to MJF, I don't think he gets enough credit as a worker. People always talk about him on the mic. The man can work in the ring too.
Oh yeah, he's been on a great run lately.
He can back it up. But looking at the 4 matches that they have noticed, that they have up, you know what? I'll save that for predictions. But I'm interested to see. I don't know much about Sonata. I don't know much about his title reign. But it does say Jungle Boy Jack Perry with Hook.
Yes.
I'm interested to see how it plays out with Hook coming down to the ring with him.
That was an interesting just throwing, because I was expecting Sonata to be put in against like maybe a veteran in AEW, but they just threw him against Jungle Boy, and I thought that was very interesting. But I think I know where you're going with this. The fact that Hook is the way Jungle Boy came off saying like hey, like as far as Hook, like you're my best friend, you're my tag team, this and that. Will you be in my corner for Forbidden Door? And that was just kind of like, this guy's gonna fuck him over 7 ways from Sunday. Like he is like, the heel turn is coming, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And Jungle Boy kind of does have a punchable face, but man, if he comes out like the following with the turtleneck, then we know the turn is there. So
I really I'm really thinking that, you know what? Nope, that's for predictions. I'm saving that for predictions. So if you
Ye-
want to hear what I have to say about this match, come listen to our predictions.
Yes, good. That's a good preview going into as far as at the end of the week. But we'll have that out at the
Yeah.
probably by Friday night or so. So definitely tune in for that. But no, I mean, I guess this is kind of an interesting. What was your initial take from when you saw it originally? This match announced.
Why? That I think that was more, and not trying to be trying to be funny this time,
Well,
but
I
it
had the
was,
same. I had the same response. Like, why?
yeah,
What was the
like
point?
because Sonata, like Jungle Boy is not even going for really a championship in his own promotion. The only reason any of them got a championship, the Four Pillars got a championship, is because they did a Four Pillars match. None of them earned a match on their own merit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
not like anybody said Jungle Boy should be challenging for the title 1-on-1. No, the only reason Jungle Boy should be challenging for the title is because they were doing a Four Pillars match, and he's part of the Four Pillars, which I think that, if I'm being honest, you could take out him and Sammy and put Britt Baker in there, and nobody would bat an eye. But you can say that for Pillars stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
is he really? And why is? And then I look on the other side, and it's like, is Sonata that low as a champion on New Japan Wrestling that he's fighting Jungle Boy? You
He
couldn't find anybody more prestigious for their champion. I mean, Hiroshi Tanahashi is a big name. It's not like he's just some schlub who they have. Like, all right, if you put him and Jungle Boy next to each other, his stock is elevated much higher than Jungle Boy's,
Mm-hmm.
and he's fighting MJF. Will Ospreay is going against Kenny Omega, and then you have Sonata and Jungle Boy for the title. There's no way in the fucking world they're putting that title on Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. I would be shocked. I'm not going to say that I would do anything because I'm not, but there's no way they're going to put that title on Jungle Boy. I can see Hiroshi Tanahashi winning the AEW championship before I saw Jungle Boy Jack Perry
Mm-hmm.
winning the IGP World Heavyweight Championship. IWGP, excuse me.
Yeah, Sonata has not been that much of an impressive run, to say the least. I really haven't paid much attention to him, but judging from Meltzer's like ridiculous 1 hour reviews of New Japan, it's not been very impressive. So yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I think they should have gave Sonata a better challenger.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just we'll see what happens. Like this is, they have said this is kind of non-canon, so I don't expect any title changes to occur. But I don't think the Jungle Boy turn will happen here. I think it'll be for down the line. But yeah, that's I agree with D with everything you said so far with this match.
and
This is kind of
and
the
I'd
odd
like
ball.
to add also with that, with me saying that, but I think that WWE, excuse me, AEW trying to hold everybody off for Collision really hurt that also, because I would love to see Sonata, if you're gonna have somebody for fight for a championship, why not Miro? Why not Andrade? Malachi Black, or formerly known as Aleister Black. You know, there are people who are good, who have a name, but I'd rather see Christian fight Sonata.
That'd be interesting.
Wardlow fight Sonata. He just lost. I mean, there's so many other people. Why Jungle Boy? Unless you're going to make this interesting on the turn, where again, I'll save that. But I just don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense as far as from a big match standpoint for that title. You know, that would be like saying, okay, you know what? We're going to have Willow go up against, mm, I don't even know, Anna Jay
Oh God.
for the title. And it's like, why? Anna Jay's not even pushed in her own company. Like Jungle Boy, really, he's not. He's pushed, but he's not. Nobody looks at him as the world heavyweight contender right now. Even in that match, nobody looked at any. Let's be realistic. All right, let's just take a step back. Outside of MJF in that Four Pillars match, who did you conceivably see walking around with that heavyweight championship? I didn't see not one of them.
I mean, Darby, I would have said, but definitely not Jungle Boy. So
Darby would have been acceptable,
yeah,
but you still don't see him walking. Putting the title on Darby is like putting the title on Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry. And I thought that Rey Mysterio's title reign was crap. And you know why? Because sometimes in wrestling, you do need some believability.
I
You just
guess.
do.
I mean, he had a bit of
And
shortcomings, but yeah, I got you.
but I don't. But when remember, this is the biggest title in that company. You want your person to MJF looks like a champion. Chris Jericho, Moxley, Omega, Page look like champions. Darby Allin doesn't look like he should be a champion, like the big boy champion. Could you give it to him and let him have like a 2-3 month run with it? Yeah, you could have him fluke into it. You could have Sting help him. There's plenty of ways to get the title on him. But if I'm looking at him, he comes out. I just see him getting his ass. I'd rather you put the title on Orange Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
why I look, because you can only go so. We watched Darby when he had the TNT title, kind of like we're watching, because this was the same story they told with Darby, like they're telling with Orange Cassidy. Darby beat himself up taking all of these matches to the point where he just couldn't defend anymore. His body was giving out on him. Same thing they're doing with Orange Cassidy, but it's a lot more believable with the way that that Darby Allin wrestles. He literally is like Jeff Hardy, where he just throws his body at people. He's not doing anything crazy, extremely technical. He's taking his body and throwing himself at people, whether it's the
yeah.
coffin drop, whether somebody's in the corner, and he just physically runs at them and throws his entire body at them.
I mean,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love seeing Darby, drop kick people with his head, but yeah, he is just yeah. I like Darby, but I agree with you. He's definitely more of
Yeah.
an acceptable champion. But yeah, well, I hope they have as far as better matches, as far as announced by by Wednesday, and then possibly hopefully by Friday. We'll see, but
Give my man Miro something. You got to give
yeah,
my
they
man Miro.
well,
I'm hoping Miro goes back to WWE. Come at me, anybody who has a problem with that. I want to see him go, because I think that Triple H will push him better than Tony Khan.
maybe.
Because I don't understand how the that Redeemer character was fantastic. How was he not in the heavyweight championship picture?
I mean, he did look good at
How?
Collision, so I hope they do something
Oh
with him.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know
How
against
was
who.
Andrade not doing anything more than what he was doing before he got hurt?
Well,
Because let's not act like they were doing that much before they got hurt.
well, I don't think Andrade will be at Forbidden Door. I think there's issues with
Yeah, with
CMML and
AAA.
AAA. Yeah,
Oh,
so I do not
yeah.
expect him. Like I think it's him,
I just
Roosh,
mean
and
in
who else?
general.
Yeah, no, I got you. Like the Lucha Brothers will not also be there, so that's something people should not expect as far as those guys. But wait, no, didn't Roosh say he quit? You know what? That's for a different topic. Um, no, before I'm very much looking forward to Sunday's Forbidden Door, and then I had to remind D that it was actually no, D was actually had to remind himself that Forbidden Door was coming this Sunday. So
Yeah.
uh,
I thought I had a weekend free wrestling. I'm sitting here like,
oh
oh
no,
yeah,
brother,
I get to catch up on anything that I missed this week. I can watch some Deadlock and some GCW, and it's like, no, you can't,
hell no,
buddy. You got
no.
you got to watch Forbidden Door.
Yeah, but we'll definitely have as far as the Forbidden Shore. D did bring that up. We'll have as far as the end of the week. We'll also as far as I'll also include as far as DraftKings if they have something available for DraftKings from
Oh
AEW. I'll
yeah,
definitely include as far as the odds. That's a lot of fun as far as the submissions, how the match will start, ring
yeah, I
entrances,
love
if
that.
interference. Yeah, that's something I think you can fantasy book that one and kind of predict what's going to happen and maybe do a little bit as far as be contrarian as far as try to win, but that is free, and I'll leave a link for people as far as the next prediction show. But yeah, I think we may have gone a little bit long, but that's all for now. We'll be back as far as the Forbidden Door for a prediction show with me and D. We'll cover that. We'll go in depth as usual, but I'm very much looking forward to here. Any last thoughts, D?
Yeah, I mean, wrestling is in a good spot right now. If you are a Lapsed fan listening to this, if you're just wondering what's out there in the wrestling world, you have a plethora of things to watch. I mean, you have AEW, WWE. Hopefully, we'll start doing some more things where we can go into Impact and Ring of Honor, because you have those, Deadlock, New Japan. You have GCW. I mean, PG.
NXT.
What? Thank you. You have a little bit of everything, and you have all kinds of people, whether they're throwing their bodies at people, technical marvels, strikers, wrestlers. You just have a little bit of everything. You have a little bit of everybody, and everybody's moving around. I'm looking so forward to seeing when contracts come up. People from AEW go to WWE. People from WWE go to AEW. I just think it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And if you think that this is a great time to be a wrestling fan, why don't you do us a favor? You listen this long. Why don't you leave us a like, subscribe, and if you're so inclined, leave us a comment. Doesn't hurt. And you can help us get better and tell us what you want to hear. So if there's a wrestling company out there, a wrestler, or a topic that you would like us to hit on, don't be shy. Let us know, and we can possibly hit on it. You know? So thanks for listening, and you all have a great one. Catch you later, right?
Peace, guys.